Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Mountain Motorsports here in Roswell, Georgia. My friends, we have in front of us a used Ninja H2 SX SE Plus. This thing is basically, the Kawasaki took the H2, which is their supercharged crazy motorcycle, and they made a touring version out of it. Now this is a 2021, you guys can see here on the side, supercharged. It's not the exact same engine as the H2, it is a slightly modified one if I understand correctly, and today's first ride should be fun. As you guys know, Mountain in Roswell is not a Kawasaki dealer, so anytime I get an opportunity to ride a Kawasaki here, I'm always jumping on it as fast as possible. This thing's big, it's powerful, it should be a good day. If you guys are excited for this video, make sure to hit that like button, and let's get this thing going, guys. Alright guys, that's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Now, before we get the actual ride going, we got to talk about a sponsor that's actually cool. This is the company that's actually sponsoring this video, guys. This company is called Flying Eyes. So guys, what Flying Eyes is actually a sunglass company that makes sunglasses for people that wear helmets. Look how thin the frames are. Also, it's made out of a really strong material that like almost cannot be broken. So not only are they sponsoring this video, they're actually a channel sponsor now. So if you guys want to get a pair of helmet focused sunglasses that fit awesome, now you guys can't see it, but slid them straight on, super simple. I love these things. They sent us a pair. I tried them out for a few weeks and I have fallen in love with them. As a guy who rides to work every single day, I cannot recommend these things enough. If you're looking for glasses that you can wear while you ride, even if your helmet doesn't have a little slot for them, they also have like prescription versions. I have the Osprey. Anyway, super awesome company. You guys will hear me talk about them plenty moving forward, but you guys aren't here to buy sunglasses. You're here to see how this thing is, so let's get it going. Man, there is something about Kawasaki green. Look at the shimmery shims of that. All right guys, H2 SX SE Plus. So guys, I'm 5'10", I got a 32-inch inseam. As you can see, I've got kind of bent legs, flat foot in both sides. Feeling really good right now. A couple things about the tack real quick before we get started, guys. Preload. Watch when I hold the preload button. It changes from a guy to a guy with saddlebags. So if you had saddlebags on the side and you had stuff in them, you can actually change the preload. And if we hold it again, check this out. Look at that. Now if you have a passenger and bags, you have that on there. And when that's flashing, it's actually electronically filling and lowering the preload. Obviously, I'm a little chubby right now, but I'm still only one man, so we're going to put it back to one. As far as modes, if we hold up the mode button, we go from rain to road. If we hold it up again, we go from road to sport. And if we hold it up again, there's nothing. That is the top mode. Everybody say hey to Josh. Josh, say hey to the fam. Josh is not excited today, even though it's a beautiful day for motorcycling. All right, guys, so check this out. The lean thing, watch it when I lean it over. You guys see the little green bar? That thing is going to tell us where we're leaning back and forth. Watch when I hold the throttle in. TH stands for throttle. Look at that. That's fully open. That's off. The BST, that is actually boost. All right, guys, nothing to it but to do it. Mirrors looking good. Bike's looking good. Let's go. We also have kind of a propulsion meter is what I've been calling it. It basically tells us how fast we're going forward, and then if I brake, the little bubble goes towards the front. It's really cool tech on here, guys. I'm excited to ride this thing. And while we wait for traffic, guys, make sure to go check out our Discord if you guys are into motorcycles. We have a ton of motorcyclists over on our Discord. There'll be a link down below. That's kind of where the guys and I kind of chat around and hang out with people throughout the week. We've got first ride areas for you guys to tell us or suggest what bikes we should do rides on and stuff. It's a pretty cool spot full of other people that are into motorcycles, probably like you are. So if you want to check that out, we'll have a link down there for you guys. And without further ado, I'm going to try to jump in front of this truck because I'm ready to get this thing going. All right, 2021 H2 SX SE. We have quick shifter? Yes. Do we have quick shifter down? Yes, we do. Love that. Love that. All right, guys. So when I was doing research here for the bike, this bike came out about 3 years ago, if I understand correctly. When it first came out, it was just the H2 SX. That was the touring mode of this thing. And then there was an SE model that had additional features like all the electronic suspension and stuff like that. And here in the 2021 model, the only model that this comes in is H2 SX SE Plus. Personally, terrible naming convention. That just gets really confusing. I'm imagining Kawasaki realized that if you're spending $25,500, which is what this is the MSRP of this bike, you're gonna go for the slightly more expensive version with all the electronic suspension. Nobody's spending $19 on a bike and being like, if I spend an extra $5, I'll get electronic everything. Like, everybody's gonna make that decision. So guys, talking about the bike here, let's talk about the ergonomics. My feet, or my legs and feet, are, you know, a little poised. I feel like I'm in a sport position with my legs, my lower half. As far as the seat goes, I feel pretty comfortable. I got plenty of room to wiggle around, and my top half is slightly leaned forward. I honestly feel like I'm a little more leaned forward than I would have expected to be on a, you know, what is this, a sport touring motorcycle? You know, leaning a little more into the whole sport side of things. Those brakes are bitey, boy. If I remember correctly, the brakes that this thing has on it are the Brembo Stylema or something like that. And bro, they do not mess around. We are on a heavier motorcycle. Here stopped. If I lean the bike to the side, man, about right there, boy, I can feel every bit of the weight of this motorcycle. Same here on the other side. You know, we're on a touring bike, guys. This bike should be big. It should be like in your face, but you know, these bikes are made to put a ton of miles on. So I'm really going to be looking for ease of use, ease of ride. I'm going to be looking for comfort in the seat, the wind. You know, these are the things I'm going to be looking for on this first ride. We are currently in rain mode. Tapers the power off really well. I don't have a lot of crazy throttle here down low. Even when I do that, you know, I got that supercharger whistling at us. So, I mean, rain mode's great. So guys, we're gonna go from rain mode. We're gonna go up to, what's the next one? Oh, do I have to have hand off the throttle? Road mode. All right, so guys, the kind of crazy thing about the weight of this thing, it's one of those bikes, they've got the balance really well. That balance ain't gonna do nothing when you're not moving, but once you start moving, the bike feels very light and kind of like will feel like it throws into a turn. I don't know how motorcycle manufacturers are doing that. We've seen a couple bikes do that recently, and it's incredible how they can make such a big and heavy motorcycle feel so light. Oh man, look at all of this. At the end of the day, I do have to be thankful for this traffic, guys, because it allows me to test a motorcycle in a situation that you guys, if you bought it, might be stuck in. And this transmission does not like neutral. It is avoiding it at all costs, probably because the bike just wants to go. And something I'm noticing right now, being in this kind of slow-moving traffic, is how light the handlebars feel. It's strange. It is strange how light they feel, like moving them back and forth. There's no weight up here at all. And I would assume with a motorcycle this heavy, this big, I would not have expected that. So that's kind of, I mean, look at this. I'm on a giant bike and I can just throw this thing around. I wonder how Kawasaki did that. Like, this is a lot of weight on a motorcycle to be thrown around like that, but the handlebars just feel crazy light. I do worry a little bit about that though for the highway, because I don't want super light handlebars. Hopefully once we get the bike going, they'll stiffen up, you know, they'll get a little more stable. Oh, look at that, we got adjustable levers. I kind of feel like the levers feel pretty good for me, so I'm not going to adjust them, but I love these adjusters. As you guys can see, the little turn wheel. I'm not a fan of the ones you have to adjust like up in the corner. I mean, I'd rather have that than an unadjustable lever, but as you guys can see up here, I mean, we're stuck in traffic, so it's what it is, but we got electronic adjustable suspension. Love that. Love the ability to not ever have to mess with your suspension and the bike does it for you. That's cool. Jesus. Engine braking, just throwing the bike forward. For a sport touring bike, I feel like the engine braking's a little strong. And the guys and I were messing with the bike before we came out here, and we actually turned the engine braking down some, and I still feel like it's a little stronger than I would want on a motorcycle like this. My goodness, I would not. I don't know what Kawasaki did, dude, but the weight on this bike when you lean it over and then give it some throttle feels so freaking good. Oh my gosh. I love these heavy bikes that don't act heavy. What is wrong with them? This is enjoyable. Not only do we have a perfect, beautiful day, but we have a very fun motorcycle. And I'm very interested to see what that boost gauge does once we get on the highway, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That quick shifter is one of those quick shifters that feels so good when you're giving it gas. It's not bad when you're not really going, but when you're actually throttling up on this thing, that quick shifter feels so good. I imagine that quick shifter is probably what is making the whole getting into neutral a little more complicated. And guys, to get into neutral, I have to make sure that clutch is pulled every bit of the way in. My foot just has to graze the shifter either in second or first to get it to pop down. Quick shifter's doing a totally good job going from first to second though. No issues falling into neutral there. All right, now the fun part. So guys, we're currently in road mode. We're going to be swapping over to sport mode here because, you know, we're going to the highway. We want to know what's up. Sport mode engaged. That should be all beans mode. Now, there is a rider mode that you can customize. We're not going to get into the customized rider mode on this first ride. No need. I'm only going to be judging this motorcycle for what it offers to you guys. So this bike has some of that Ducati stuff in it where when you're only slightly giving it throttle, the bike's a little jerky. I don't know if that's because of the boost thing or what, but it is not smooth, and it's only this one little section. If you get it out of that section, it's fine, but if you're in that, you know, the bike just, it feels unsettled. And I was feeling that in rain mode as well, so I feel like it's a throttling thing, and the throttling, it sometimes feels okay, and then sometimes I'm not super amped on it. We'll see how we feel at the end of the highway. We should have a good time on the highway. We've got a giant windscreen. Should be a good time. All right. So guys, I'm going to be pretty critical on this thing on the highway. This area is where this bike should be made for. This should be a phenomenal experience, and if it's not, I'm going to be upset. We'll get behind this Lexus. All right. Good Jesus Christ. That has got such a weird power delivery. I don't know if I like it or love it. I can't figure it out. It's almost like the power doesn't go away. So like, typically you have a power band on a motorcycle, right? And you get into the power band and then you leave it. But it's like the supercharger extends the power band for way longer than you would expect. How strange. So we are testing here. So let's test cruise control real quick, guys. Got our little cruise control light over there. If we press it down, all right. If we press and hold down, oh, we got a set button. I don't like that at all. That is not intuitive. All right. Oh, straight away. Let's go. right, where are we at revs wise? Let's get high on the revs and let's go. And letting off, and letting off. Oh man, you gotta be careful. This big old windscreen, dude, I can't feel nothing. Bro, I might as well not be going nowhere. You can tuck all the way into this thing and not feel anything. What a great bike for the highway, dude. Oh my goodness, I like this a lot. Body position when I'm tucked in feels phenomenal. I've got plenty of space to tuck back. I'm in 5th gear and I can still just pull this thing. Oh my God. Whoa, and then you get into the wind. Man, that's a lot. That does so much. That does so much for the wind resistance, this big shield. We're gonna get in front of this blue car. It just goes, dude. Oh my goodness. And braking, braking, braking. Oh, Brembo. Stylema. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Wow, this sucks. All right, well, since we're kind of stuck here, guys, we've already done the camera car run. Let me just tell you, Bo, cut to the camera car footage, would you please, because this is terrible. So guys, when we were doing the camera car run, we came into this turn pretty hot, and you guys are looking at that footage right now. This motorcycle suspension, when I leaned it over, it's like it did the best of both worlds between a soft suspension and a hard suspension. A soft suspension makes you have a more comfortable ride, but it gives you less feedback from the road, and you have less traction because the wheel's bouncing along the road, right? It's bouncing slower. When you have a harder suspension, it makes for a harder ride, but you get more grip. This motorcycle felt super planted and super comfortable in the road. It was very strange. I've never felt having both a good... the suspension was probably the top 5 suspensions I've ever felt going through that turn. But before I go too far into it, guys, we got to jump over to a Cardo ad real quick. So let's do that real quick, and then I'll tell you more about the how I feel about the suspension.
Kawasaki H2, H3 reduction, H2, what is it?
It's a Ninja H2 SE Plus. H2 SX SE Plus. Good God, what a mouthful.
Ninja H2 SE SX Plus is a pretty cool looking bike. From what Chase says, it's really, really comfortable. I've sat on it. It does seem like something I would want to take across the country and be absolutely happy riding it at all times. There's tons of cool little gadgets on it. It's got the whole like brake bias, or not brake bias, but center of gravity. Tons of cool things on the dash that I would love to get my hands on and kind of be able to ride this thing for a little bit. I think Kawasaki did a really good job on this.
Kawasaki Ninja H2 SX SE Plus is far too many letters for the name on any motorcycle ever. Besides the alphabet soup, it is a lot of integral design, body, lights and parts, and not my favorite styling of machine. It's a little too much for me. It's kind of one of those bikes, you love it, you hate it. I don't particularly hate it, but I really would never buy one. But besides that, it looks and sounds like a stellar machine. Obviously, it's got far more horsepower and torque than any one person would ever need on a motorcycle, so you'll never be lacking in that department. It does have all kinds of cool electronics and gadgets and whatnot. Cool bike, a little too futuristic for me, but I dig it.
But yeah, guys, there's been a few suspensions that I have felt while doing first rides that felt just that good. Because like a medium level suspension, I'm not really gonna find many things to say about it, but if it's a really bad suspension, I can tell. But when you get like a really nice set of suspension on a motorcycle and you throw it into a turn, it's incredible. Also, the way this bike handles its weight is borderline shocking, because being a bigger bike, you do expect it to be a little heavy leaning into a turn, and it's just really not. Like, deceptively not. And the way that this motorcycle accelerates is very strange, and the only other time that I've ever felt a bike accelerate like this thing does is the H2. There is something about having a supercharger on a motorcycle that really messes up the feeling of a traditional power band on a bike, and it is honestly something that you guys just would have to experience. I don't even know how to describe that to you. By the way, guys, you might notice we are in a brand new engine hawk jacket today. We're trying out the bomber jacket, which honestly is probably my favorite engine hawk jacket as of right now. So for you guys that are curious about the new gear, that's what we're rocking with today. This thing is definitely a sport tourer that is a little more inclined to the sport side than the touring side. Like, it's totally fine as a tourer, but when you start getting on this bike, you can tell that the core of it, the core is a sport bike, which is it's really interesting because it's a big thing. You don't expect that. Big bike, you expect it to be chill, maneuverable. Oh, I totally forgot to even mention on the highway. Bike felt stable on the highway, but agile at the same time. Like, I don't get these bikes, man. I don't get these things. How do they make the bike do all the things, you know? Other than the weight of this thing right now, like, this thing does not handle like you would expect it to handle. That's weird. So guys, as I work on composing myself, let's talk about the dash real quick. I gotta be honest, it's probably one of my favorite dashes, at least in the Kawasaki range. I love tech. I love having a screen over here. I really appreciate having the color screen. But the thing I love is that they put the old school tack with a regular updated screen. I love having a tack that's actually moving up and down. You know, there's something core to motorcycling where I feel like motorcycles need to have a tack. I understand, you know, a lot of bikes these days are putting the little digital tacks, which is fine. I'd rather have that than the bars. But there's just something about an analog tack that I really love. You know, Kawasaki's have historically been pretty terrible about their menu setup. And to access the menu of this bike, you have to press this, it says mode button down there, which it should honestly say home or menu. I don't know if it'll do it while we're going. Yeah, it won't. Good for you. But that'll bring up the menu. You can change a ton of stuff. I feel like they did a pretty good job with it, though I do feel like the buttons up here, my controls, I feel like there's a lot of them, and the first time you look at it, you could get a little confused. Let's just go ahead and go, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a lot of buttons up here, and I feel like the first time you get on it, especially over here, you're gonna be like, whoa, what's all this? Oh, it's got heated grips? For realsies? Is that just a button press or what? All right, that button's not doing anything, so I don't know. If the grips start getting hot, I'll let you know. I do feel like Kawasaki could really benefit from like changing their button layout a little bit, making it super simple. You know, a lot of manufacturers, we are in that spot right now where the bike is not happy about it. Can you guys tell? I like riding smoothly is just difficult. Let's oh wait, green button. It's lit now. Can we hide it? So it's just to press it. Okay. Well, so if it's green, oh, now it's yellow flashing. See, this is what I'm saying. I should not be confused about heated grips. Also, the throttle when you're barely putzing around is just not the move, man. This bike is just not happy going in anything but psychopathic mode. Let's hold it down. And now the mode doesn't want to change unless I throttle totally off and hold it forever. Yeah, I'm not, like, here's the thing, the buttons feel fine, but I don't know. I don't love like the press it. Okay, now you got to press and hold it for it to do anything. The heated grips is, I assume it's just on and off. That's a little confusing. So now it's like blinking yellow and now it's back to green. So do I hold it? And now what color is it? And now it doesn't blink anything. Like, see, these are confusing things. I, as a rider, don't need to be thinking about this while I'm riding. I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, Chase, this is the first time you're on this motorcycle, you know? If somebody bought it, they'd learn it. And of course, that's with every single motorcycle. Even the crazy Aprilias you can figure out and learn, and they hide shit from you. But like, I'm judging these motorcycles and the controls from a new rider perspective. You know, these are a little more complicated. I feel like the dash and the screen's great. You know, I'll see if I can get an opportunity to show you guys what the menu looks like if I can get into neutral and use these really awesome brakes to come to a good stop. All right, so holding the mode button, eventually you go to the menu. You can cycle up. You can go to units, vehicle settings. Let's go to vehicle settings. Shift lamp, engine speed, quick shifter. So see, the menu's pretty cool. I'm here for the menu. Now if I hold it, no, I want to go all the way back. And how do I do that? Do I hold it again? So see, I don't know how to go back now. I've ruined it. I've ruined myself. It's back just all the way at the top. No idea. All right, well, we live in the menu now. What happens if we shift? Oh wait, we're in first now, but now I can't see how I'm going. Ah! Get me out of this! This is my point. This is truly my point. How do I leave? How do I leave the menu? Yes, I know what the shit. Okay, we're going, and that's what we're doing now. All right, it came back, but now we got menu settings in the bottom. What the heck? This is my exact point. Kawasaki, you make phenomenal motorcycles. You really need to figure out the controls and the system, because things are confusing and they don't make sense. I think you make great motorcycles. I just wish we could fix this. It is unfortunate that I can be on a motorcycle this phenomenal and then have those tiny little issues. So guys, we got our pull off up here. We're gonna pull off. We'll do a little walk around the bike, check it out, and see what we think about this thing. Sweet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2021 Kawasaki Ninja H2 SX SE Plus. That's that little H2 logo that Kawasaki's been rocking out. It's a weird looking bike, man. The weight of it feels very heavy up front and very light in the back, even though it has this giant exhaust on it. But very Kawasaki, very black and green. I think it's a cool looking bike. Look at the fender. This is actually not a terrible job for a fender for a motorcycle. Good job. We got the single-sided swing arm. Love it. Love it, love it. Supercharged. Showed you guys that earlier. Look at these brakes, man. Love those brakes. I want to get those from AMT-10. Super cool bike. Super great, like phenomenal suspension. And look at the freaking grab rails, baby. You ain't going nowhere. Man, what a good bike. What a deceptive bike. Would have never thought this thing rode like it did had I not spent the time on it today. So I'm super glad I got this opportunity to ride this thing around. I am very impressed with what Kawasaki's doing. So guys, before I jump back on the bike and head out, I'm going to take a photo for our Instagram. If you guys are on Instagram, by all means, check us out at C2DubPics. We will post this photo when this video goes live. If you guys are interested in behind the scenes stuff or photos of the first ride bikes we're doing, that's where we post that. We would love to have you over there. And go give us a follow. We're also on TikTok at Chaseontwowheels. So, you know, old men on TikTok trying to figure out what the kids want. Oh, look at the SE. Very cool. Let's get back on this thing. All right, and we have now done our little top 5 TikTok video. You guys can go check it out, like I said, at Chaseontwowheels on TikTok. Let's get this thing. Did it default into rider mode? Is that what it's doing right now? Hold on, let's check. Interesting, it defaulted into rider mode. Oh, by the way, guys, check that out. Max lean. It's pretty neat, huh? Odometer, not even 1,200 miles, dude. What the heck? All right, let's finish this thing up. All right, so guys, as we're ending up the first ride, kind of want to talk about what I think about the bike and who I think this thing is for. And you know, I find it interesting that Kawasaki has their Ninja 1000, and they also have this H2 SX. I feel like those are two pretty similar motorcycles. So my question is kind of why have them both? And I feel like what you're getting with the SE, or the SX, SE, whatever, what you're getting with the H2 SX is you're getting that super toury platform, but you're getting like some cayenne of sport on top of it, because the Ninja 1000 is a pure capable motorcycle, but I don't think it feels as sporty, and I think that's why Kawasaki made the up part, the top half of this motorcycle, as far as the rider goes, a little more leaned over. It puts me as the rider in a slightly more aggressive position, and honestly that fits with the motorcycle. You know, as I've told you guys, I'm kind of nitpicking here, but the motorcycle is not super happy in any mode, kind of just puttering. There's that one specific spot in the throttle delivery where the bike just gets a little jumpy between the engine braking and all. It just doesn't feel very smooth, and I'm not a real big fan of that, because eventually, you know, if you're riding this motorcycle, especially you know on the daily or something like that, you're going to be put in those positions, and the bike's not going to feel great in those. It feels great when I'm pushing really hard on it, and that's the kind of surprising thing. It's like a touring motorcycle typically doesn't have that level of punch and power, but you get that here. Like, you could totally like take this thing on a super twisty road. I would love, you know what? Here's what I think. This motorcycle is a touring motorcycle made for somebody like me. I feel like this motorcycle is very comfortable, and that you could take endless amounts of miles on this thing. Handlebars, your body's upright enough to where you're not putting a lot of weight on the handlebars. You're putting some, but not a lot. You've got a really light handlebar feel. But this is the type of bike where you could just eat miles up, and then, you know, in your trip, if and when you got to a twisty road, you are now going to have just as much fun with this motorcycle as you were just kind of cruising on the highway. So it's an interesting little combo that we have here, and honestly, the Kawasaki has made such a phenomenal kind of do-it-all motorcycle, and they somehow did it in such a big package. I'm really impressed with what they did. I did not come into this first ride expecting this. Especially the suspension and how good the bike feels leaning it over. If you're looking for a bike that you can put a ton of miles on, guys, on a very long trip, if you're on that long trip and you hit a fun twisty road, your excitement should go nowhere but up. This might be the bike for you guys. Super impressed with it, super love this thing, and I appreciate you guys riding around with me. Before we get out of here, I do need to give a shout out one more time to my buddies over at Mountain Motorsports in the Roswell location. That's where we started from. If you guys want to check out Mountain Motorsports, we'll have links for them in the description. We also have a discount code with Mountain, so if you guys are looking to make your next bike purchase, Mountain's got a ton of motorcycles. If anything, go in there and sit on some bikes and see how they feel to you. That'll help you, and if you end up buying from them, get a little discount thanks to your buddy C2Dub. Anyway, guys, you guys go ride safe. Subscribe if you like motorcycle content, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Later. Outro crew, did y'all have the same expectations that I did that this thing would be? I knew it would be powerful, right? We knew that, but I did not ever in any world expect it to be as nimble and agile as it is. Look at all the mud getting thrown up. Yeah, man, this thing has been phenomenal. Super surprised on this first ride, and if you guys are in the Outro crew, you guys know that those are my favorite first rides, the ones where I get to be surprised. I love those. Anyways, guys, make sure to put a comment down below and put OC with your comment so I know you made it to the Outro crew, because I love you guys just a little bit longer. All right, guys, y'all go ride safe. The weather is beautiful here in Georgia. I hope it's beautiful where you guys are as well, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.